Yeah, we say it away. Woo crew going live, in five. In a time where you walk outside, you got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like mine? You got 10, got Graham, they are part of the fam. We got Fran, got Tess, and calling them in. Professor Ross, who started the plan. Got Lauren and Sajin, yeah, they heading the team. Got Kate and Kelsey, ain't nothing to tell me. Marcel and Joe got it hot like Nelly. Saya make the group go higher. Karina, we need her, she'll get it done when it's required. And I'm the one who's supplying all the fire. Woo crew, name a group who fly. Woo crew going live, in five. In a time when you walk outside, you got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like mine? Woo crew going live, in five. In a time when you walk outside, you got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like ours? Gone.
Just starting off with my question. I saw that you had a song called "He Is Risen" that you dropped on Easter. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about what your faith like means to you in your music. How to use that to like inspire you.
Yo, first of all, appreciate you seeing that. Secondly, I grew up in the church a lot. My dad actually has been involved in leading worship since I can remember. So, when I was a young boy, Sundays were long for me. I wake up at like 6, go to church, come back home, take a nap. They make me take a nap because we got up so early. Then I go back to church. I'd be there during the week. So faith has always been something pretty big to me and big for me. So I try to kind of, play that into the song. That's why I decided to release that on Easter. So that's something that's very important to me and very important, in our family. And that's something that I try to live by and walk in. So
I have a question about your influences, like who you listen to and like what kind of music inspires you, and have you found that that's evolved over time, like since you were younger to now?
yeah, when I was younger, it was a lot of, obviously growing up in church, there's a lot of gospel. So like Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, people like that was growing up listening to. And then I don't know if you guys have heard of Lecrae or the 116 Click. If you haven't, I think you should look into it. It's pretty cool. They're kind of hip hop artists who are Christian based. They don't like to be called Christian rappers, but they're rappers who are Christian. So I kind of grew up listening to that, and then as time grew, I obviously started listening to more of the people you guys probably listen to, like Lil Uzi Vert, Travis Scott, Drake, and all that. But I didn't really get into all that until probably my eighth or ninth grade year. Um, but Tory Lanez for me was surprisingly a guy that I listened to a lot of when I was younger, and he kind of inspired me to produce and start making beats. I really didn't start rapping until later on, but I always wanted to make beats. So there was one of his projects that really influenced me to start getting into that. So
Um, okay, so kind of going off Karina's question a bit, um, like what specific, I guess, childhood experiences or like the location in which you grew up kind of impacted like your passion for, I know you said like you started off producing music, but then eventually like rapping and like creating lyrics to the music that you produced. So like, I guess what experiences kind of influenced that?
actually, my freshman year, I transferred to private school. I was supposed to go to a public school with my sister, but I went private. My parents thought it'd be better for me. And I met one of my friends still today. His name's DeMarcus, and he goes to Harvard, plays football there. And then I met another guy, Melvin. He was a senior there when I was a freshman. He goes to Yale now. So the two of us kind of, well, the three of us uh, kind of got together. And I didn't even know they made music really. It just happened. God just kind of made that happen. And so they rapped, and then I was like, shoot, I might as well rap. So I actually remember freshman year we made a song and it actually got pretty popular. Like a lot of kids started singing it. I still like if I go back home now and go to a party or something and see them, they'll talk about it. Kids know the song more than I do, and they're my own lyrics. So I probably thank them as to why I kind of got into rapping, in terms of like finally starting to, you know, say something over my own beats and stuff like that.
I know you said that like you grew up like in the church and whatnot, but like has your like greater community, like state and city wise, like influenced like your rap career or like your love of music?
Yeah, I think so a little bit. I think where I'm from, Charlotte, there's not too many artists that are like really big. We obviously have the baby now, but like a lot of people didn't know of the baby 4 or 5 years ago. So the guy that was really big in terms of Charlotte, North Carolina, was J. Cole. So I listened to a lot of J. Cole, and he influenced kind of a lot of music that I tried to make. You know, obviously he's a really good artist. I like the things he talks about. He touches on some important points that I think a lot of artists don't. So I think J. Cole played a pretty big role, but I don't think, you know, my city really influenced too much of who I am as an artist. I think it influenced who I am as a person. So maybe that you could say that influences who I am as an artist. But um, I really just taken bits and pieces from a bunch of different type of musical talents.
So
Uh,
my question, so
you can go, Sam.
okay. So my question would be like how long you have been doing this and what kind of influence do you hope overall that your music has on your listener?
Yeah. I started in sixth grade. So I'm sure you guys all heard of GarageBand. It comes on computers and stuff like that. So that's what I started on. It's pretty simple. Um, but then my dad kind of pushed me to use other things, other software. So I started using Reason and Logic, if you guys know what that is, in FL Studio a little bit. Um, but yeah, ever since sixth grade, I've really been doing it. So I've gotten a lot better, obviously. I still don't think I'm as good as I could be. And it's also hard to do, just balancing it with sports. It's kind of something on the side. It's not something like I've really ever like fully focused on, but it's something that can kind of get me away from basketball and the stress of that. So, but in terms of my influence, you know, I hope I just influence people to be themselves, be authentic. You know, sometimes I think people are afraid to be who they truly are and show the things that they truly love to do. And music is a big part of me, and I'm not afraid to, you know, share that with other people. You know, I do have a lot of music that is personal to me, and those things are kind of hard to release sometimes. Um, but I feel like, you know, ultimately, I hope that's the influence I have. It's just people see that, dang, like he's not afraid to do what he likes to do, and he's comfortable doing it. So I hope people can take from that and do the same.
So you mentioned like basketball, and I know you're an athlete and you play basketball at school here. Has hip hop in any way influenced you to be better, or maybe focus you a little more in your sports?
That's a good question. Has hip hop helped me focus more? I think it does, in terms of like, I'm a big believer in taking time away from what you really like to do. So as I was saying before, I think hip hop has helped me uh, take time away from the game. So when I come back to it, I can give it, you know, all of me. And I don't think it's good to do anything as much as you love to do it. I don't think it's good to do too much of something. So I feel like hip hop kind of adds a different, uh, you know, aspect to my life, and something to kind of change things up. So I think that has helped me as a basketball player. And also just with timing, with being, you know, communication. Obviously, if you're rapping, you have to communicate, and you have to do the same in basketball, especially with the position I play. So that's another way to look at it. I think, you know, it has helped me. So good question.
Could you describe your creative process when creating music? Like what goes into making a song?
Yeah. It depends. It depends on the day. It depends, you know, how you're feeling. If you're sad, you're emotional, you're happy. But usually I'll start, if I'm making my own, like if I'm making it from scratch, I'll usually start with a melody. Um, either that I've came up with in my head that I'm singing, or just something on the piano. My dad played piano, so he's taught me a little bit about that. Um, and then sometimes I'll start rapping without drums because I just already know what I want to say and I don't want to forget it. I just want to get it out there. Or sometimes I'll put drums over the melody and then kind of get into rapping. And then I'm learning how to mix more, how to make things sound crisp and clear how they're supposed to. But yeah, I'm still learning. I'm only 19, so but yeah, that's usually how my creative process goes. Also, keep candy on me. Something about candy just gets me going. So
You talked about like how working with your two friends from high school, but did you have any other like mentors or like teachers that like helped you learn like your art, or was it more just like figuring it out on your own?
yeah, I think a lot of it was just figuring out on my own. Obviously my dad, I keep mentioning him, but he's just so important to me, just him being a musician. But his line of work's a little different, so it's really just a lot of myself. And like I think I listen to music differently than probably you guys do. You probably just listen to it and enjoy it. Sometimes I listen to it and kind of think about what they're saying, how they're saying it, changing flows and things like that, and kind of try to see how I can take that but add my own spin to it, um, and kind of come into my own type of artist. But yeah, it's kind of come from just listening to stuff. I don't think I haven't had too much help along the way, so it's just coming from time and again just listening to different artists, a lot of different music. I try to branch out, away from hip hop too. I listen to a lot of alternative, a lot of R&B. R&B is probably my favorite, honestly. Um, so yeah, I try to take bits and pieces from different types of walks of music.
Kind of going off of that, you talked a little bit about your experience with making music and rapping in high school, but what has it been like since getting to Holy Cross? Has it been easier to make music or harder to find time?
Yeah, that's a good question. Luckily, I have a roommate who's my teammate, and he likes it, so he doesn't get mad at me recording and things like that. I honestly don't know if people can hear me when I'm recording, um, in the hallways and stuff like that, but he doesn't mind it, so it's not too bad. Obviously, my schedule is pretty tough, so it was hard to do it, especially when I first got here. But recently, I've been able to do it since our season's over. I'm actually hurt right now, so I'm not working out as much. So I've had a lot of time to kind of put effort into music. So yeah, I mean, I think it's about the same though, because at home I was still busy too, in high school and things like that. But I kind of like doing it here in college in my dorm. Also to have someone with me, we can bounce ideas off each other. So it's pretty cool.
Do you see yourself branching out into different styles of music, like making R&B music or gospel music?
Yeah, I do. I kind of just wanted to try to get really good at one thing first, because I feel like versatility is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing sometimes. I feel like in music, at first, I feel like it's good to kind of find your own sound. But yeah, R&B is most definitely something that I try to branch off into. My dad, everyone in my family can sing. I'm probably the worst singer in my family. Um, so it would be cool to kind of learn how to sing better, in terms of making R&B. But I do love R&B music. I listen to R&B a lot. Um, and gospel would be super cool to get into as well, and kind of like mixing and matching those things too. So like with hip hop, talking about certain things that I'm reading in the Bible, or things like that. So
Sajine's not here, so I'll go, right? Is that okay? Okay.
yeah, let's see. Oh, you guys.
So I did see you. um, so I had an interview with John Abrams, and I kind of talked you up a bit, not gonna lie. And he like plays football here and stuff, and he told me he like really really wants to work with you, because I said he should work with you, but he said I'm so down, like hook me up with him. and he was talking. So my first question is, would you want to do that? And my second question is, he wants to perform, obviously, like in a non-COVID world when that's over, at the spring concert. And I'm just wondering, like, if that's something you would want to do as well, because he like said he got to perform in front of his like teammates, and it was like the best moment of his life because everyone knew the words. I think you were like kind of touching on it, like at home, like everyone knew their songs, but he said like the feeling he got when you like hear people sing back your lyrics is like no other. So those are my two questions.
Yeah, I would most definitely be open to working with him. I actually saw his music. I came across it the other day, so I gotta read.
Yeah, he just released 21, his new album.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be super. That would be super dope, especially before.
Okay.
Before.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, when I was younger. But nah, it is cool having someone like really know your words to something you created. It's a crazy feeling. So, yeah, I'm most definitely open to that for sure.
And would you do the spring concert if we have one?
Definitely.
Okay.
If obviously I have time, the season's over with and everything. So yeah.
And also during our interview with John, we talked about how he kind of separates his life into like 3 categories. It's like academics, sports, and then like his hip hop artistry. And he said he tends to keep them almost all separate. But do you ever see yourself like using like your academics or even basketball as like influencing like your sound or like the music you create?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's easy at times to separate it, but I think we should try to have them come together. I think obviously, I feel like I have made them come together. Obviously making 2 songs for class in school, so I feel like it's come together with that. Actually, I made a song for our basketball team earlier this year too, so I've combined both of them. But yeah, I think it's easy to separate them, but I feel like who you are as an artist is also kind of who you are as a person. So I feel like everything should come together. I feel like you should talk about what you do if you play that sport, or how you are in the academic world, things like that. So yeah.
What do you guys think? You want to go through one more round of questions? How do you feel, RJ?
It's up to them. I'm good. Those are good questions. Those are really good questions.
So in class, we've been talking about the different elements of hip hop. So kind of MCing, DJing, writing, right, graffiti art, and dancing. Do you see these elements kind of working together at all in your own artistry, or like would you ever kind of think about collaborations with other artists from these other elements? Or I'm just curious.
I'd most definitely think about collaboration with other artists, with those elements. I feel like certain people, specialize in some things, whether it's like digital art, dancing, writing songs. I feel like different people have different takes on it, but I don't feel like there's issues with writing songs with other people. I feel like it's good to bounce your ideas off with other people and kind of come up with, the best product you can get. So I feel like, I'm open to any type of collaboration for sure. I haven't done that yet at all, but I think, with time I will, and I think it's important to too. I think the best songs, they have like a dance to them. So like, Tootsie Slide with Drake, stuff like that, the little beatbox challenge, and with especially with TikTok now, making songs, having dances to them, like all that stuff's important. The visual, so that's just kind of how hip hop. That's what it's moving towards. Back then in the 80s and 90s, I don't know if it was as big in terms of that, just with social media and everything, but yeah, I'll most definitely be open to that. I think it's important to see that too.
Awesome. Thank you.
What is like your favorite song, if you can pick one? What would be one of your favorite songs you've produced?
Oh, I've produced?
It's hard, I know.
Yeah, that is hard. My favorite one right now, My favorite ones are my most personal ones. So I have one that you guys haven't heard. It's called No Lies. Um, I kind of talk about the things I've learned really from like about the end of my junior year up until now, in terms of just relationships, friendships, um, loyalty and things like that. Loyalty is something big to me. Have it tatted on me. So, um, but yeah, it's probably that song. But yeah, like the songs I like the most are just the songs that obviously I can like deeply connect with and feel. So I think that's what other people like as well. So I need to release it, but it's just hard to because it's so like you feel so vulnerable. But I feel like that's what makes the best music. That's what people relate to the most because I feel like a lot of people go through the same things, the same type of heartaches and things like that. So I feel like it's important to share so people can connect with it.
Um, so on an ending note, I guess, Professor Ross and I were wondering if you could rap the like intro music video song for us because it's good.
Oh wow!
So if you could do that, that'd be great.
I don't know if I remember it. How'd it go? I've made so many songs. How does it start? What is it?
Woo Crew's going live in 5.
Oh yeah, Woo Crew's going live in 5. In a time where you walk outside, you put your mask. What is it? You put your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Can't name I forgot it. Can't name a gang that's lit like mine. I
Got
don't.
Pan, got Graham, all part of the fam.
Oh, man. Got Kate. Is it? I don't know. I got to listen back to it. That's a good question. Y'all got me on that one. I don't remember it. If I heard it again and I listened to it, I could probably rap. It.
Oh man.
Yeah. I actually wrote that in class. Being a bad student, I wrote it in class.
The backstory. I love it. The backstory to our music video. That's awesome. RJ, this is my favorite part of Live with the Woo Crew. This has been my favorite part, interviewing you. So this is really exciting.
Now, a word from our state rep, Daniel Donahue, about an important nonprofit organization located in Worcester. We hope you will support in solidarity with the Woo Crew.
Hi, I'm Daniel Donahue, Massachusetts State Representative for the 16th Worcester District. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a bit more about Abby's House, a nonprofit organization that values women from diverse backgrounds and experiences in my hometown of Worcester, Mass. The mission of Abby's House is to provide shelter and affordable housing, as well as advocacy and support services to homeless, battered, and low-income women with or without children. This is an important organization in our community, values hospitality, diversity and inclusion, compassion and respect, women's self-determination, and collective effort. Holy Cross was the first class to help support the women of Abby's House by providing volunteers to staff the shelter dating back to 1976. And Holy Cross students and alumni continue to partner with Abby's House by providing monetary, in-kind, and volunteer support. I hope you'll consider joining us by making a donation to Abby's House in honor of their 45th anniversary. Your donations will help to keep in operation the 79 units of supportive housing and 9 overnight shelter beds of Abby's House. Additionally, your donation will contribute to the wonderful programs of Abby's House, such as providing each woman with an advocate who helps her identify realistic goals and provides her with the tools she needs to achieve these goals. If you are able and willing to make a gift to this amazing nonprofit, please click the link accompanying this video. If you would like to learn more about Abby's House, including opportunities for volunteering, please visit them at abbyshouse.org. Thank you.
Thank you for your time listening to our state representative talk about this great opportunity to support the Worcester community. And now back to the Woo Crew for more excitement.